Hey, welcome back, PetaPixel viewers. It is Chris Nichols here. Today we're going to be talking about our top 5 favorite digital kit lenses. These are lenses that came bundled with camera bodies and usually were the first foray that people would use getting into photography. Now, we are doing this from inside the podcast space because you know what? It's winter, it's cold outside, and we don't need to be outside for this anyways. Let's get to it. Now, for our discussion today, we really wanted to talk about kit lenses that came bundled in the box with your camera, because if we go down the route of all the manufacturers making soft kits or retailers doing special combo deals and stuff, well, then you're just going to get mired in craziness. So we really want to talk about you bought that first camera, what lens came with that camera, and what were the best examples of that. Now, for most of us, starting with a Nikon or a Canon or a Pentax DSLR, we probably got some sort of 18 to 55 f3.5 to 5.6. And you know what? They were versatile. They're actually pretty decent. They were fine, Jordan. They were good. You know, the problem was they weren't very fast, okay? And they didn't give you a ton of range beyond what the kit offered. But let's get into our first, number 5 favorite kit lens of all time. Okay, so big thanks to our lovely Jordana White there for introing the first of our kit lenses. It is the Panasonic 20mm 1.7 indeed. Now, this was a very compact lens that came bundled with very small Panasonic cameras like the GX series or the GF series. And it was actually a really sharp lens. And what I loved about it was, first off, it showcased the beauty of Micro Four Thirds, that you could have a tiny lens and a tiny body and go out. It was pocket-sized, and yet it took great photos. It even brought back the old school fun factor where you just have your one camera with a fast normal lens, and that would be your lens for everyday shooting. But I think a lot of people then eventually did find that quite limiting. They wanted to have different lenses, more versatile range. And so the 20mm 1.7 is no longer bundled with Panasonic cameras, although it is still sharp and popular. You can buy it separately as a second version even today. Okay, number 4, it is the Nikkor 24-70 f4S series kit lens. Now, this was debuted with the Nikon Z6 and the Z7 cameras. And, you know, when we first tested the Z7 45 megapixel sensor, that was the lens that I had on there. And I was like, damn, first off, I'm getting an f4 kit lens. There's no floating aperture, and it's very sharp, certainly capable of handling that 45 megapixel sensor. I just remember using the 24-70 and just feeling like, wow, I'm actually getting quite a professional quality lens here, but at a really good bundled kit price. It made the Z6 and Z7 very appealing cameras to get as your first foray into a digital mirrorless camera. Nowadays, the Z6 II, the Z7 II, they're bundled with a 24-120 f4S, which is a very versatile lens, but I still feel like the 24-70 gave a slight edge in image quality, and I just love the compact form factor of it. So it's definitely my favorite from Nikon, and it's our number 4. Okay, so you might have noticed the lovely Jordan Drake is our beautiful presenter showcasing all of the kit lenses we're talking today, coming to you from various exciting locations, and that's because he's standing in front of our Westcott green screen. These are beautiful. You get these in 8x8 feet. You can get this like we have in 9x20 feet. You can even pull it underneath the feet of your presenter and do full body stuff, but it turns out Jordan Drake does his best work from the waist up. And he's set up this green screen on the Westcott X-Drop Pro stand series. Very quick, sets it up in minutes. It's easy to key and get consistent green screen without any sort of weird shadows or things that you have to fix. So, beautiful system. Thank you, Westcott. They are PetaPixel's preferred lighting partner. All right, number 3, this is a lens that's actually near and dear to my heart, at least until I drove over with a truck and snapped it in half, sadly. Jordan won't let me borrow his because he doesn't trust me with it, and he loves it that much. This is the Panasonic /Leica 12-60 f2.8 to 4. Now, it does have a floating aperture, but it's fast at the wide end, f2.8, f4 at the long lens, totally acceptable. What we loved about this lens was just that it was well built, very sharp, and still very compact, as you would expect out of Micro Four Thirds lenses. But it gave you a versatile 24-120 full frame equivalent, and it had a beautiful close-up capability. A lot of lenses that have good macro usually have other sacrifices, but the Leica just beautiful close-ups, no chromatic aberration, sharp all the way through. I'm gonna have to find a way to steal his without him knowing. Number 2, this is gonna be the Fujifilm 18-55 f2.8 to 4. You know, I would say that one of the main reasons why Fujifilm cameras became so popular wasn't just that they made nice bodies with a retro-inspired design, but also that they bundled them with an excellent kit lens. I mean, the fact of the matter is, everybody else was offering 3.5 to 5.6 kit lenses for their APS-C cameras, and again, with questionable image quality. What the Fujifilm brought was faster apertures, sharpness all the way through, and it was bundled at an incredibly good price. I mean, you know, if you were looking at something like a Sony a6000 series camera, you are going to get the 16 to 50 3.5 to 5.6, which is compact, but otherwise kind of garbage, really. And then you look at the Fujifilm, and for a very similar price, you're getting an amazing body with a way better kit lens. And we even tested the 18 to 55 against more modern contemporary lenses, and the Fujifilm held its own, even though this design has been unchanged for years. Now, there is rumor that there might be a replacement coming out, and that would be excellent, but the fact of the matter is, this old lens as a kit still does great work for photographers, and it's absolutely been instrumental in Fujifilm's success. Thank you again, lovely Jordana White, for introducing our #1 kit lens. It is an oldie but a goodie, the Canon EF 24-105 f4L. So this lens did a lot for the digital era. I mean, first off, up to this point, if you wanted a professional quality lens, you were generally getting something like a 24-70 f2.8, which is not a kit lens, and it was very expensive. Or you were getting something with a floating aperture that really didn't perform very well. The 24-105 gave us affordability, it gave us compact design, a versatile range, and it was absolutely L-series image quality. It was very sharp. Now, this was actually bundled with the 5D Mark II, the 5D Mark III, and the EOS 6D, and I think it was a big part in making that a very successful system. But it also showed a different alternative because it coupled really nicely with Canon's 17-40 f4L and their 70-200 f4L. People could get professional L-series lenses without the bulk or the expense of going to a 2.8 lens and still be very happy with the image quality. Fact of the matter is, though, I mean, if you were getting yourself a 5D Mark II, you're going to get the 24-105 f4 for only a few $100s over just the body alone. A lot of people would get that kit even if they didn't need the lens, just so that they would have an excellent optic with more versatile range at a really good price, maybe as a second backup or something. And really what the Canon 24-105 did is put all the other manufacturers on notice. From this point onward, they started making f4 zooms that were also excellent quality but compact and affordable, whether they were kitted with a camera or not. I mean, everybody jumped on board, and it's really thanks to the Canon EF 24-105 starting this whole trend. I hope you guys enjoyed this look back at some of our favorite kit lenses, and really the end result was this. When we were working retail before Jordan and I, we always found that kit lenses had a really bad rap, and for good reason. Often they were really cheap and they were just barely passable image quality wise. And the lenses that we talked about today really set a trend for the kit lens to not only become better, but be expected to be better. And this has been absolutely beneficial to the photographic and videographic community as a whole. Now, I know there's so many other kit lenses out there, so many other bundles to talk about. We probably didn't talk about your favorite, and now you're mad and you're screaming at the screen. So calm down and then write that in the comments below. We would love to see those. And then check out our podcast as well. It's on the exact same channel, or you can see it on all your favorite podcasting apps. And subscribe to the channel if you like this video. Thanks so much. We'll see you soon with more from PetaPixel.